to a new episode of our podcast Dive Studios. I'm glad to talk today about a really interesting topic, the community of Huicholes. We are going to talk about their culture and the good and not so good things in their daily life.
Talking about this community is really important, so we can give more appreciation to them, so we can open our eyes to other realities in our country.
I want to start talking about the Huicholes, mentioning the zone where they live. Do you know where?
I don't know, maybe in Nuevo León?
No, I don't think so. Maybe Nayarit?
Actually, mostly of them live there, but also in other states like Jalisco, Durango, and Zacatecas. Did you know they call themselves Huixaricas?
I didn't, but what does that mean?
I think it means the people in their language. It comes from a Nahuatl adaptation. I hear that they are the last tribe in North America that keeps their traditions alive.
That's correct. Also, there's a lot of shamans who keep practicing their traditions.
Talking a little more about the positive things of this community is that they keep their traditions alive because they still dress with the typical clothes of their culture.
Exactly. I read that the gloves of the women are embroidered in a headgear way, so they can tell the mythologic origin of their culture.
Unfortunately, there's people who laughs of the designs of the clothes, ignoring that is their culture and should be respected. There's a lot of racism in Mexico, even though they are an important part of the story of our country.
That's one of the negative stuff about them, that they are victims of the racism. It affects us because the people around them won't take them serious just because the way they dress, and also they can pride them for their rights and human beings.
Did you know that the oldest people or cahuiteros are the most respected people in their society? That's because they know everything about their traditions.
That's right. Also, the cahuiteros are the responsibles of choosing the members of the government of their community. They renew those members in a ceremony where they swap batons of power. The governor is named Maracame, whose meaning is who knows.
I'm wondering, how does their economy work?
Well, it's basically self-consumption. They harvest what they consume, mostly corn, squash, amaranth, beans, and chile. That's why their gastronomy is still alive. Two of the most popular foods are the huicholes and the matcha.
Why they don't sell what they produce?
That's because there's no paved roads where they live, so they don't have a way to commercialize. But what they do sell is their handcraft stuff. The most common symbols they represent of them is fire, arrow, deers, and eagles.
I think their handcraft stuff is divided in two, those that they sell and those that represent something religious. Also is to tell stories and myths of their handcraft.
And what do they use for their art?
They use Shakira. We can see among his artistic pieces figures lined with Shakira that represent a large number of shapes and animals in accessories.
Accessories like which ones?
Like bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pectorals, and so much more.
Did you know that as the government of the country is advancing, it affects to the Huicholes?
Why do you say that?
Because in 2010, the government sold a big percentage of mines in Huicholes territory.
So that's why they started to sell their art to tourists so they can survive.
Sadly, a lot of people don't understand this is the way they can survive, and it's common to ask for lower prices in handcrafts. They don't really appreciate their work, or even worse, they do imitation of their work and sell them in a very low prices. That's why people don't understand how valuable their work is.
It happens about the clothes too, because people think it's okay to make imitations of their typical clothes. It's disrespect for them because their clothes have a reason and a story. I think only them has the right to wear them.
One of the most important information about them is their language. They have received Mesoamerican influences, which is reflected in the fact that Huichol has typical features of the Mesoamerican linguistic area.
Another important information is the religion. It consists of our four main deities: corn, eagles, deer, and peyote, all of them descendants of the sun Tao. The religious acts are carried out in a mountain called Quemado in the state of San Luis Potosí, Mexico. This mountain is divided in two, one side for women and one for men.
As we said before, they keep their tradition alive. Music and dance among the Wixarican have stock pre-Hispanic features and are part of the ritual with which the divinity is honored. The dance are not very varied and the steps are very simple. They take the rhythm with their feet.
A characteristic of the celebration is that they usually drink nawak, a drink made from fermented corn, different from the popular tejuino, which is a drink that intoxicates and has a different flavor.
Also, for their festivals that the Huicholes usually paint their faces with symbolic drawings and in a ritual ceremonies the Maracates use the moeris, chopsticks adorned with feathers.
It was really interesting to learn more about this community.
Yeah, I think we all should try to learn about those communities in our country.
I agree. I can't wait for the next episode of the podcast to talk about more interesting and valuable communities like this one. Bye.
Bye.